I'm going to read 4 poems tonight, and this first poem is, you can go back in time for a bit to the early 80s. It's a poem that is about the Calvin Klein's ads that had Brooke Shields in them. You probably remember that she was 15 and she was very beautiful, but we shouldn't have been looking. And around the same time that those ads were premiering, Calvin Klein's actual daughter was kidnapped, and this poem is about the intersection of those 2 moments. It's called On the Abduction of Calvin Klein's Daughter Marcy, a Captor's Narrative. Eternity, escape, and obsession fly the same neutral flag in 3 shades of overcast steel. I was raised under it in an orphanage with Brooke Shields and Kate Moss, but everyone's my daddy, and we could hear the wind yawn through our birth certificates. I was always one step behind, an expendable caddy, while Kate carried the burden of marking the nuance where gray and gray collide over the Atlantic, and Brooke dated the Jordanian prince. We are ambassadors from childhood, paid to live with you like Jane Eyre and Pip. I remember Brooke telling me, reading is to the mind what Calvins are to the body. I took her hand in mine, and we went out of the ruined place, and as the evening mists had risen long ago when I first left the forge, so the morning mists were rising now, and in the shadow of the uptown bus, Calvin Klein's daughter steps into the vestibule of her high-rise. The press suspected Klein of staging his own daughter's kidnapping as a publicity stunt, but after all these years, I'm too exhausted to keep accusing him. That morning on the way to school, Kate, Brooke, and I convinced Marcy to come with us by telling her, "You were about to die." In those days, bus tokens had a bullseye at their center. I remember focusing on the 2 bullseyes in my 5th pocket all morning, one for me and one for Marcy. You have to be very small, much smaller than me, to really use a coin pocket, so Kate used to make a game of placing things deep in ours that Brooke and I could never retrieve. Kate was the kind of baby babies call out baby to from passing baby carriages. What's cut even too wee for children's hands was cut for hers. Brooke was the mastermind. When she darkened her smile, Kate knew to draw the tokens from the portal to a smaller world that was my pocket, and now it was time to think hard about what would make us weep as we boarded the city bus with Marcy. I don't have to tell you, Kate wept for the fawns of hell, and Brooke for the bucks of earth. But me, I touched Marcy's cold silk dress, and now I told Brooke and Kate I wept for the worm. I really wept for the death I came there to report. Your flagship has a concrete floor, austere as the cellar we slept in before we were reborn. When I can't remember the name of my own parent company, I ask, "You know what comes between me and my John Calvins?" Nothing except Judaism, and then I recall the name of the corporation is Puritan. I can still feel the feel of Marcy's throat. I feel left out sometimes when everyone's quoting Traherne and Dunn. I feel the bleat vibrate my knife right through the goat. We live it to the hilt, this life, and then we want still more on the other side. I used to put a pillowcase over my head and haunt the ward just by passing down the aisle between the beds. Brooke wrote the ransom note in lowercase Futura font and signed it CK1. She whistled, "Oh my darling, oh," into the heavy black telephone. It took all Kate's strength to hold the receiver up. Brooke was the mouth, but I was the ear. I still hear a rush of water between all the words I speak. Clementine was the drowned eldest daughter of a 49er. She slipped right into the American River. By the time the song is over, her little sister is married to the man Clementine loved. But Kate, Brooke, and I never competed for your hand. My dress slip is named for her, and I wear it when I want to slip back into my childhood to salvage something Kate slipped long ago into my hip pocket. What do I carry I outgrew the chance to touch? Kate, Brooke, and I never competed for this land, but it's ours as much as anyone's. Bill Clinton said it was wrong to manipulate us children for commercial benefit. It should not have been for profit. The nation is yet very, very young, and anything can happen. I have Knicks courtside seats and great expectations. I saw you come staggering into the game, Calvin Klein, and there into the ear of the Latrell Sprewell heard you pardon us all for our anger. I can feel the ball in my hands. I can feel the boundaries of the game come to pass. Also a little moth floating around here, and I can feel that against my cheek.